7 Americans killed in a helicopter crash off the Bahamas. And in sport, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association calls for a new leader. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Friday, July 5th, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Welcome to this year's 50th Caribbean Broadcast Union Assembly on the island of San Andres. San Andres is a small archipelago located in between Jamaica and Panama in the Western Caribbean Sea. A lush, exotic island rich in culture, history, gastronomy, and breathtaking scenic views. Known for its beaches and 7-colored crystalline waters, the island of San Andres will be proudly hosting this year's event. CBU members will enjoy top-of-the-line accommodations for an unforgettable experience in San Andres, connecting Caribbean nations through this year's 50th edition of the CBU Assembly.
Seven Americans, including well-known billionaire Chris Klein, were killed yesterday when the helicopter they were on crashed about 2 miles off Grand Cay in Abacus, Bahamas. The Royal Bahamas Police Force reported that the 15-seater Augusta Westland helicopter took off from Big Grand Cay around 2 a.m. en route to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The aircraft was reported missing at about 2:53 p.m. when it did not arrive at the intended destination. Police officers and residents of Grand Cay later discovered the helicopter overturned in 16 feet of water off Grand Cay. The bodies of 4 females and 3 males were retrieved from the aircraft. The identities of all the victims have not yet been released, but it is reported that Klein, a coal billionaire and philanthropist from the state of West Virginia, and his daughter were killed. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said it is investigating the tragedy along with officials from the Department of Civil Aviation and the Defense Force. The capitalization of the CARICOM Development Fund, the CDF, emerged as a contentious issue as Caribbean leaders entered the final day of their annual summit in Castries, St. Lucia today. The CDF is an institution of CARICOM with a mandate to provide financial or technical assistance to disadvantaged countries, regions, and sectors in the community. Now, CARICOM sources told CMC News that Jamaica stormed out of the caucus meeting last night as the issue was being discussed. Jamaica Prime Minister Andrew Holness apparently disagreed with his regional colleagues on the position adopted on the contributions to be made by the so-called more developed countries of CARICOM. Now, Holness did not speak to reporters when he arrived at the venue for the summit today, but informed sources that said Kingston is questioning the accuracy of the report of previous meetings on the matter. Now, sources familiar with the talks say Jamaica claims that its position is to opt out of making a contribution to the CDF at this point in time. Now, at the same time, some Caribbean countries such as Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Kitts Nevis contend that Jamaica cannot opt out and that it is an obligation of each member by way of treaty. Director General in Guyana's Ministry of Presidency, Joseph Harmon, says Cabinet will continue to meet until the Caribbean Court of Justice offers clarity. His statement follows the CCJ's ruling that the no-confidence motion against the government last December was valid. Now, Harmon told Thursday's post-cabinet press briefing that there was nothing in the CCJ's ruling stating that cabinet should not meet. However, in a written submission on Monday, the government asked the CCJ to provide clarity on whether cabinet should be meeting, and Harmon says until then, the government will continue to perform its duties. He also pointed to Guyana's constitution, which speaks to the president and government remaining in office. The CCJ will hand down specific consequential orders on July 12, following its ruling on June 18. Over in Dominica, a magistrate on Thursday granted bail in the sum of 2,500 EC dollars to a farmer who allegedly threatened the life of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Defense attorney Tanyi Behansen had suggested that the charge against Leslie Martin be dismissed because Prime Minister Skerritt was not present in court when the charge was read out to the accused, but Magistrate Pearl Williams disagreed. Martin allegedly said to another person on June 20th, quote, "It is not you I want, is Skerritt I want to kill," end quote. The statement surfaced on social media last week. Martin pleaded not guilty when he appeared in court. He has also been ordered not to make any contact with the Prime Minister to discuss the matter. He has also been told that he should not change his address before informing the police. Martin is due back in court on August 29. Earlier this week, Police Commissioner Daniel Carbon warned citizens against making threats against all politicians during the ongoing election campaign. He said the police would act appropriately against those who use social media to make threatening and inflammatory statements to incite violence. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Welcome back. It's now time for sport. Members of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association are calling for change at the helm of the sporting body. A team of 6 led by the TTFF Pro League is concerned about the state of sport and wants a major overhaul.
The man responsible for bringing the group together, Keith Lucloy, outlined some of the issues they believe currently facing local football.
The TTFA is faced with virtually insurmountable debt. We don't know how we're going to resolve it. The sitting administration, the current administration, is doing nothing to address it. We have the issue of the lack of transparency and accountability in financial matters. We have the ongoing issue of the court case that I myself have initiated surrounding the finances of the home of football in Couva. We have the issue of the collapse of the national teams program.
He added that there is a plan that will be developed to take local football forward with consultation from the local football fraternity. William Wallace of the SSFL stated some of the group's intentions in coming together.
There are people who are saying that we have an agenda. And yes, I want the media to know that we have an agenda. I want the people of Trinidad and Tobago to know that we have an agenda. And the agenda is to bring back some sanity to Trinidad and Tobago football. That is the agenda.
Lucloy said he won't be seeking elections, but will support the group as they look to upset the status quo that has stagnated local football.
Still in football, Jamaica's Reggae Boys were sent packing from the CONCACAF Gold Cup on Wednesday night after producing a lackluster performance to crash to a 3-1 defeat to the United States in the second semi-final of the Continental Tournament. In a repeat of the 2017 final, the Reggae Boys fell 1-0 at the halftime through Weston McKinney's 9th-minute strike before Christian Pulisic added the second for the hosts in the 52nd minute. Shamal Nicholson pulled one back for the Caribbean side in the 69th, but Pulisic completed his brace 3 minutes from the end to set up a meeting with 10-time champions Mexico in Sunday's final. That's Caribbean in 10. Good afternoon.